How many times have December rolled around and it dawns upon you that you're at the same place this December as you were last December? The calendar flipped, but your life did not. The year changed, but your life remained the same. You feel like you're on a treadmill. You're making lots of effort, but you're going nowhere. If that's the feeling that you have, you are in the right place, because I'm about to share with you 3 practical tips that will help transform the next 12 months of your life and help you break the cycle of living the same year over and over. Tip number 1, set compelling goals. Tony Robbins once said that people are not lazy. People just do not have goals that inspire them. So the quality of your goal determines whether your goal is achieved by December or it falters by February. Many people have goals that are just in their head about things that they do not want or things that they wish would happen in their lives. Many people have goals that are so vague and it lacks power. Weak goals do not move you. And if your goal does not move you emotionally, it is not going to move your life forward practically. So you need to set compelling goals. There are a few tips that will help you to set compelling goals. Number 1, you need to write down your goals in these very critical areas of your life. Number 1, write down one important health goal of yours. Because why is that important? Because health is the foundation of everything. If you do not have health, that you are not building any sort of dream life. Okay? Your health is the foundation of your quality of life. Set a health goal. Number 2, set a wealth goal. Because guess what? It takes money and resources to fund your dream life. 3, you want to set relationship goals. Why? Because relationships are a very critical factor to human flourishing. So you need to set a relationship goal. And finally, you need to set an impact goal. An impact goal says that, hey, what good is it if you are so successful, but you aren't making other people's life better? So you have to set an impact goal. An impact goal actually takes you from success to legacy. And so it's good to set impact goal because impact goal enhances the quality of goals that you're setting for your life. Write down one goal, one major goal in each of these areas: health, wealth, relationship, and impact. As you write those down, you want to write those down in such a way that it meets the following criteria. 1, it has to be specific. You do not want to write a goal that is vague. So use a lot of descriptive words as possible to be very clear about what that goal is. 2, you want to make sure your goals are measurable, using numbers to describe your goal. By the end of this year, I want to have bought 4 houses for myself. Or by the end of this year, I want to save $10,000, opposed to by the end of this year, I need to save some money. Okay? Be very specific and have a number on that particular goal, because that number makes your goal measurable. So you can be able to track whether you are getting closer and closer to your goal. Very important that your goal are measurable. The third thing is you need to, as you write your goals down, you need to make sure your goals are relevant. Relevant goals are goals that do 2 things. They are aligned with your value and your vision, the vision for your life. Okay? How do you envision, what sort of life do you envision living? When you die, what do you want to be remembered for? And you want to make sure, therefore, whatever that vision is, whatever the answer to that question is, you want to make sure that your next 12 months set you up to fulfill that vision in 5 to 10 years from now. You want to make sure that your goals are relevant. Relevant goals are aligned with your values and your vision. As far as your values, they're aligned with your values and your vision. Another critical thing about relevant goals is that relevant goal comes from pure desire. Relevant goals come from pure desire. Is this something that I truly want to achieve? Is this something that is that important to me as a person? Because a lot of times people are living other people's desire. This is what my parents want for me. This is what my wife or husband want for me. Or this is what society desires for me. No, you need to sort through all of those and make sure you arrive at something that is truly your desire, and ensure that the goals that you're setting are aligned with that true individualized desire of yours. Because if your goals are founded upon your own true desire, your goals become very, very compelling, because your desire is a driving force. Okay, so your goals have to be relevant in that it is aligned with your value for your life. It is aligned. Your goal has to be relevant because it is aligned with the values your personal values. It is aligned with your personal vision for your life, and it comes from a place of true desire. Once you've written your goals down in those areas that I talked to you about earlier, and you write them down with these various criteria, take your 12-month goal and you break it down into 90 days target. Say, for example, one goal is I want to save $10,000 by December 2026. The question is, how much can I save? How much can I target to save by in the next 90 days? How much more can I save in the next 90 days after that? And how much can I save in the next 90 days after that? So I want to break my big 12-month goals into 4 parts that I can achieve every 90 days through the entire 12 months. When you do that, it creates structure and urgency, and even clear checkpoints for achieving your goals. Your 12-month goal now goes from just being a high jump to steps that you're taking to achieve it. Which one of that is easier? A high jump or taking steps to achieve something? So when you write your goals in such a way that it is written down, it is written in the key relevant areas of your life, it is written down by certain SMART criteria, and it is also broken down into 90 days increment, you have yourself a compelling goal that will wake you up in the morning on days that you do not want to wake up. You are not achieving your goals because your goals are weak and they are not compelling. You need more compelling goals. So take these points and set compelling goals for yourself. Tip number 2, develop habits that support your goals. Author James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, reminds us that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. Goals set our direction, but habits create progress towards achieving that particular goal that we've set. It is a system of habits that you develop and maintain that takes your goal from the paper to reality. Remember, tiny habits create massive transformation over time. Habits are one of the most compounding things that you can ever do in your life. Here are ways that we can develop habits that will support our goal. Number 1, go back to those goals you wrote in step number 1 and now write down 2 habits, 2 things that you can do repeatedly in a routine frequently that will help you to achieve those goals. That's what habits are. Habits are tasks or things that we do repeatedly. Frequently, whether you do it 3 times a week or you do it 2 times a day. Habits are things that you do repeatedly. What are 2 things, only 2 things that you can do repeatedly that will help to achieve your goal? Write those 2 things down under each goal that you set in step 1. Number two, apply the 2 minute rule. Author Mel Robbins shared with us the 2 minute rule. And what she said in the 2 minute rule is when you're developing new habits, start with habits that take no more than 2 minutes of your time, because they'll be easy for you to start. Because starting is the most important thing. If you have problem reading to develop your knowledge and skill, start by reading only for 2 minutes and then skill later on. If you have issues with working out, start by working out only 2 minutes for this week. And when you're consistent, then you skill it up. So when it comes to habit, starting is important. The second most important thing with habits has to do with consistency. When you start and you're consistent, then you can scale. The 2 minute rules will help you at least get your habits started, become consistent, and scale later on. The third thing you want to do in order to build habits that support your goals is to make sure that you're stacking habits. Stacking habits simply refer to doing habits together, like adding another habit to a habit you already have. So say, for example, you're already brushing your teeth. Can you add the habit of going over your goals, repeating your goals in your head as you brush your teeth? That's one habit you can add. You're already exercising maybe, but you don't have time to read. Is it possible that you can listen to an audiobook as you are exercising? Stacking habits allow you to stick onto things that you're already doing, things that you need to do, but you can't get yourself to do. That's what habit stacking is. You're adding two habits together. And so it has to be habits that you can do at the same time. So every time you probably already have a set time in the month that you pay your bills. And if your goal is also to move money into your savings, that should be added to that bill paying habit. When I sit down to pay my bills, the one thing that I am going to do first, new habit added to the habits I already have, is I'm going to go ahead and move money into my savings. Developing habits that support your goals. First thing is you're writing down two habits that relates to the goals that we set above. Second thing is you're going to use the 2 minutes rule. Start a habit that will take you no more than 2 minutes. Become consistent, and then you scale. Then the third thing is you stack habits together. The very fourth thing that you need to do is to track your habits weekly. There are habit trackers out there that you can use. You yourself can also just journal your habits. At the end of the week, you see your progress. The powerful thing about tracking progress is that when you see progress, it builds momentum. And when momentum is built, motivation is increased. Learn to track your progress weekly. Set a time every week that you will look back on your week and see how much progress have I made in this area. By doing so, you build momentum build motivation. By doing these four things together, you will be able to build habits that support your goals. So to break the cycle of living the same year over and over, you need to, number one, set compelling goals. Number two, you need to develop habits that support your goal. And number three, you need to establish and strengthen connections that support your goal. It's very important. Connection is so key. Jim Rohn said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. John Maxwell adds to that and say that the people closest to you determine the level of your success. Your connection is as critical as your effort. Your cycle shapes your standard. It shapes your mindset and ultimately ends up shaping the results you get. So when you change your circle, you change your life. Before I go into how we can change our circle, let me share with you 3 people that in all our lives. One, we have people who take away from our life. These are the people who distract you, detractors. These are people who discourage you. These are people who dismiss your dreams and its possibility. Those people take away from your life. Then there are those who add to your life. These people are people who encourage you. They affirm your dream and they encourage you. These people add to your life. And third, those who have a multiplying effect on your life. These are people such as teachers, mentors, trainers, coaches, collaborators, consultant. These people have a multiplying. They accelerate your ability to achieve your goal, accelerate, facilitate, lubricate your ability to achieve your goal. So these are three people you need to be looking out for when you are building connections that will support your goal. To build connections that support your goal, the first thing you need to do is to audit your circle, the circle of people that you spend time with. You need to audit that. What do I mean audit it? You need to kind of look carefully at it and see who falls into which category. Which one of the people that you voluntarily spend the most time around over the last 12 months hinder or help your progress? And I need you to list those people down. And I need you to put hinder by it and put help by it, by the name of hinder by the name of the people who hinder your progress, and help by the people who help your progress. Once you've done that, you need to now decide and commit to spending less time and investing less energy with those people who hinder your progress, and make a commitment to spend more quality time with the people who helped your progress. Number two, you need to build a support team. So in addition to the circle of people who's left after you've audited your circle, you now need to ensure that you add other people to your team if you don't already have them there. At most on your support team, you need only 3 people. You don't need 20 people. You need 3 good people on your team. You need to make sure at least you have a mentee, you have an accountability partner or a coach, and you have a mentor. Mentor is someone who's doing what you want to do, or who is doing what you are doing at a higher, better level. You want to connect yourself with someone who's doing what you are doing at a higher level, or someone who's living your dream already. You want to connect with people like those. Number 2 are either your coach or accountability partner. You want someone who is not afraid to hold you accountable, remind you of what you say you are gonna do, and push you just a little bit. And then you want to have a mentee in your life, somebody who you can pour into, because it is by giving that we receive. And by having such a person in your life, it straightens you up, because you know that there's someone that you are inspiring. So you want to do your best to be an inspiration to that particular person. Build a team. Make sure no matter what kind of team you build a team that have at least those 3 people on it. There are other ways to build teams that we can completely, that we will deal with in a separate video. But build a team that supports your goal. The third thing you want to do to be able to establish and strengthen a connection that is that supports your goal is you want to join spaces that match the goals that you set for yourself. Join spaces, groups that support the goal that you set for yourself. You want to take a class if you need to take a class. Join a mastermind if you need to join a mastermind. And once it's aligned with what it is that you're doing. A networking group of professionals or people who are doing on the same path as you. A support group of people who are on the same journey as you. Get into those spaces, because when you get into spaces where growth is natural, growth becomes a normal thing. Growth becomes an easy thing. When it comes to meeting your goals, it is not just about the goals you set and what you do. It also is very critical the people you hang around. Very, very important. As I close this, let me just remind you that this can be the year that you look back and say, I actually transformed my life. I set goals that I was excited about. I built habits that moved me forward. And I created connection that lifted me up. Get off that treadmill and create the year that you deserve. Your next chapter starts today.